Hola a todos, muy buenos días, muy buenas tardes o muy buenas noches, depende del horario en que estén mirando esta grabación. Queremos presentar, este sería el tercer webinar o webcast que organizamos el equipo de DOAJ y el equipo de APRENDER 3C. Esta serie de webinars las llamamos Transparencias y Buenas Prácticas en Revistas de Acceso Abierto. Y como les mencionamos, la intención es difundir buenas prácticas para mejorar la calidad de las revistas de acceso abierto en América Latina y el Caribe. Y también apoyar a los editores de la región para realizar una postulación sólida para ingresar a DOAJ, a este Directorio de Revistas Internacionales de Acceso Abierto. Todo el material de la clase del último webinar y de este mismo webinar lo van a encontrar en el sitio de Aprender 3C, que es www.aprender3c.org. Ahí van a encontrar tanto la grabación como la presentación utilizada y algunas preguntas o recursos que se mencionen durante los webinars. Recuerden compartir, está todo con licencias Creative Commons, así que digo, utilícenlo, reutilícenlo, compártanlo, como ustedes prefieran, apropiense del contenido, que esa es la intención de estas charlas, y ayudarlos a formar en competencias. No robo más tiempo, le paso la palabra a la embajadora de DOAJ para América Latina, la licenciada Ivonne Lujano. Hola Ivonne, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, Fer. Bien, muchas gracias. Pues bienvenidos a todas a este tercer webcast de nuestra serie de Transparencia y Buenas Prácticas Editoriales en Revistas de Acceso Abierto. Bueno, el día de hoy tenemos la grata presencia y compañía de Cenyu Shen, que se encuentra en Finlandia, y ella es estudiante del doctorado en la Escuela de Economía de la Universidad de Hanken, en Finlandia. Ella trabaja en el grupo de investigación de acceso abierto y se especializa en temas sobre la publicación dudosa o cuestionable, ¿no? Es decir, todas estas prácticas poco éticas que se han estado dando en los últimos meses, años, en otras regiones del mundo, aunque también algunos casos en América Latina, y que se aprovechan, digamos, del acceso abierto para realizar pues prácticas no éticas en el sentido de algunas incluso fraudulentas, y que nos interesa mucho este tema porque creemos que es muy importante conocerlo en tanto autores de artículos, que muchas veces tenemos la urgencia de publicar en revistas y entonces nos topamos con estas revistas dudosas, y también en cuanto a la edición, o sea, en tanto editores, es importante conocer que existen estas revistas y que las prácticas poco éticas que ellas llevan a cabo muchas veces pueden ser, si no tenemos un cuidado editorial de la revista, hasta podrían ser confundidas con revistas que tengan una información dudosa, en nuestro caso las latinoamericanas. Entonces queremos evitar todo este tipo de errores y de malos entendidos, y este webinar tiene esa intención, como aclarar qué es esta tendencia a la publicación dudosa, por qué se da, cuándo y cómo pues evitar caer en estas revistas. Cenyu va a presentar en general una introducción al mercado de la publicación en acceso abierto de la Vía Dorada, o sea, una breve semblanza. También va a hablar de los antecedentes sobre la publicación dudosa o cuestionable. Va a darnos algunos de los resultados de una investigación que ella acaba de realizar sobre estos casos, y algunos datos particulares para América Latina, y al final, bueno, algunas reflexiones que nos ayuden a pensar cómo enfrentar este tipo de problemáticas. Entonces, bueno, voy a compartir la presentación de Cenyu, y ella estará empezando a hablar con ustedes. Les recordamos que este webcast tiene un subtitulaje, y cualquier pregunta que ustedes quieran hacer en inglés, en español, en el idioma que ustedes deseen, pueden hacérnoslas llegar tanto a Fernando o a mí, y nosotros haremos lo posible por contestar todas sus preguntas. So, Cenyu, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, you can start. Go ahead.
Yes. Yes, hello everyone. I'm very happy to have this opportunity to share with you all my experience in studying questionable open access publishing. Yvonne, can you move to the next slide?
Okay.
Yeah, the agenda of this today's presentation will be mainly divided into 4 parts. First of all, I will briefly introduce the development of gold away publishing market over the past years. Next, I will briefly talk about some background information to questionable open access publishing phenomenon. Following that, I'd like to share with you our main results of my earlier research on questionable away publishing, and finally, some reflection upon this issue. Before I dig into the details of questionable away publishing, I'd like to tell something about how the gold away publishing market has been developed over the past few years. You can see from the slides, this figure I used was taken from most recent research in 2016. The researchers, they analyzed the development trend of gold away market using DOAJ as their primary data, which I believe is DOAJ is the best witness for the development of the gold away market. We can see from the figure there was a continuous and steady increase in the number of journals indexed in DOAJ. In 2002, there was only 35 journals in DOAJ, while after 10 years, there were around 8 surround journals has been indexed in DOAJ. They also estimate that the percentage of annual increase for the gold away market was on average at 20% to 13%, and the number of journals is continuing to increase. So, what has happened to the gold away market? Why there was so high growth rate? From my point of view, there were 3 major reasons. First of all, the big innovation in digital technologies has significantly lowered the barrier to enter the publishing market, and the operating cost for running an online journal has been reduced a lot also. So it is not very surprising that more and more people, they are going to launch the new online journals and adopt the open access publishing model. Secondly, there is increasing support from the library side. Over the past 10 years, libraries, they are troubled with the ever-increasing subscription price charged by the major large commercial companies, so-called serie crisis. So this kind of the new open access publishing model, along with the author-pays revenue model, has largely helped the libraries to address their tight budget problem. And the final reason comes to the fact that there's also increasing support from the publisher side. Virtually all the large subscription publishers, they offer the hybrid version, meaning that the authors, they can make their own article open access throughout an extra payment within the traditional subscription journals. Yes, can you move? Yeah. However, in the wake of rapid growth in the gold away market, its side product, the questionable away publishing, has emerged. So, to mention about questionable away publishing, we couldn't avoid to mention 2 persons, Jeffrey Beer and John Bohannon. Jeffrey Beer was the first person who coined the term predatory publishers, and since 2013, he has made an online blacklist of what he stated as possible, probable, and potential predatory publishers and journals, and his list is constantly updated. And another person called Zhang Bohao, he is well known for his experiments. In 2008, he intentionally submit his fake article to a large number of APC-charged open access journals. And the result was very astonishing. Approximately 16% of these open access journals, they accept the paper. This has indicated that these open access journals, they lack very rigorous peer review process. So this astonishing result has raised a lot of concerns among the research community, and it's also caught them a large media attention to the quality of normal open access market. So how can we define questionable OA publishing? I use the definition from my earlier research. We define that the sort of OA publishers and journals whose only purpose is to collect article processing fees, but they lack rigorous peer review and proper marketing practice. We define such class of the OA publishers and journals as the questionable publishers and journals. Then the key question is, how can we identify the questionable OA publishers and journals? What are their typical characteristics? I categorize the characteristics of those market players into two major characteristics. The first one is inappropriate marketing practice. Questionable OA publishers, they are very often they carry out improper marketing practice. They constantly send spam emails to researchers in order to solicit more submissions. And can you click next? And the journal titles are also very misleading. It's because they mimic the names of most reputational Western journals to trying to pretend themselves as the credible OA publisher and journals. So it is very common that for those journals, they start their titles with international, Western, and American. Fake impact factors. These questionable publishers and journals, they advertise they have impact factors, but in most cases, the impact factor is not the one that we are widely known as for the ISI index impact factors. All these impact factors, they claimed fake number. They like to advertise. They have very short turnaround time. Some questionable publishers, they claim that they will give you the final edictory decision within 14 weeks, which I believe is impossible to achieve a high quality peer review process. In addition, they also advertise they have a relative low publication fees. For instance, many India journals, they claim they charge authors article processing fees as low as $15 US. Another major characteristics for the questionable OA publishers and journals is they usually provide no or little quality control of contents. This is because they carry out very low standard peer review process, or even they skip the peer review process and they publish the article as they has been received. Furthermore, there are also some other typical characteristics those questionable publishers and journals they have. For instance, it is actually very difficult for you to find where they operate. They usually on the website they provide an ambiguous address, or they provide a fake address. So it's very difficult for you to figure out the place where they actually operate. And also for the publishers with the large journal portfolios, the money of their journal contents are empty. These are also another two typical characteristics that questionable publishers and journals they have. In the following, I will focus on sharing with you our main results from our earlier research titled Predatory Open Access, a longitudinal study of article volumes and market characteristics. This is an article that I was writing together with Bo Crystal Bjork. The article has been published in BMC Medicine in 2015. So if you are interested, so you can search in BMC Medicine's journals database and find this article. It is the open access article. So far, the earlier research about questionable OA publishing, they concentrate on exposing the scandals of publishers and journals that they lack rigorous peer review process. But there are very few serious studies. They investigated the different aspects of questionable OA publishing phenomenon in terms of to what extent the questionable OA publishing has been development at the moment, and how it has affect the different regions. And next. Therefore, the purpose of our study is going to chart out the full picture of questionable OA publishing, and also to provide a comprehensive understanding of questionable publishers and journals. We have investigated the different items, including how these questionable publishers and authors they distribute across the different geographic regions, and what is the current number of journals, and how many articles has been published by those questionable journals over the past 5 years, and how much it costs on average for an author to publish in questionable OA journal, and finally how long it takes on average to publish in such type of journal. What we finally have been found in terms of country of publishers, we can see from the finger the result is skewed to the Asia countries. Around 14% of the publishers they were from the Asia countries. Among them, about 13% of publishers they were from India. What about the situation in South America? Yeah, what about the situation in South America? There was only the publishers from the South America take a very small percentage, accounting for only 0.5%. From my point of view, why there was very small number of publishers from the South America? It is because the existence of the CRO and a good infrastructure of local society or university journals have provided a good shield against the questionable publishers. And also another big group is categorized as the impossible to determine. As I mentioned in the previous slide, one of the typical characteristics questionable publishers and journals they have is it's very difficult for you to identify where they actually operate. So that's why there's a big number of publishers actually will fail to find where they are. The next result deals with how the article volumes has been developed over the past 5 years. We can see from this finger represented by this red line, it is the overall development of the article volumes published by the questionable OA journals. We can see there was a continuous and there was a dramatic increase in the number of articles published by the questionable OA journals. In 2010, there were only 53,000 articles has been published, while after 5 years, nearly 500,000 articles has been found. I calculate the number of articles published in South America. There was only around 2,100 articles has been published. So this is a quite low number and can be neglected if we compare to the total number of articles published in the past 5 years. So why there has been indicated a significant increase in the article published by the questionable OA journals? This can be explained by the figure of the average number of articles per journal. We can see from this figure, on average, the publishers with the smaller number of journals, they publish on average much higher number of articles per journal than any other three publisher structure. Meaning here than any other publisher with larger journal portfolios. So we can conclude that the big increase in the article volumes published by the questionable journals, on the one hand, it is because these small publishers, they continue to publish new articles. On the other hand, big publishers, they continue to launch new journals to publish more articles. Since their old journals, they fail to attract new submissions. So the only way they attract more researchers, attract more submissions, is to launch the new journals and publish and then therefore publish more articles. And how this article has been distributed across the different disciplines. Which discipline have published the largest number of questionable open access articles? The figure shows that the category of genre which represents journals fall into more than one discipline are the largest group. This is also one of the typical characteristics of the questionable journals. Most of the questionable journals, they have a wide scope. So they're trying to cover all the topics in a particular field so that they can attract the different types of articles from the authors. And engineering and biomedicine, they rank the second and the third largest group. Generally, the authors in hard science, they have more preference than the authors in soft science to publish in open access journals. For instance, biomedical authors, they have a long tradition of publishing scientific articles in open access journals. In terms of how these authors distribute across the different countries, the figure has indicated then the same pattern as in the distribution of publishers across the different regions. The result is also skewed to the Asian countries. Most of the authors, they were from Asia, accounting for the 16%, and among them, around 35% of authors, they were from India. And similarly, the authors from the South America, they will only account for 2.3%, which is also very small percentage. To conclude, between 2010 and 2014, there was a dramatic rise in the number of questionable OA journals and articles published by them. The average article processing fees is around $300 per journal, and the average publishing time from submission to publication is between 2 to 3 months. From our perspective, the problem of questionable OA publishing is highly limited and regional to a few developing countries such as India, Nigeria, and China. The reason why the questionable problem is so serious in these countries is possibly, first of all, the authors from these countries, they are under pressure to publish in international journals for getting PhD academic position or research fundings, since their universities their university or research funders evaluate their researchers based on where they publish and how often they publish. No one cares about what they have published. However, unfortunately, a large number of high ranked scholarly journals, they are from northern countries because of the unjust North Source publishing system. While for authors from the southern countries, they find difficulties to publish their articles in these traditional scientific journals. So it is the unbalanced scholarly publishing system and the current university reward system has forced the authors from these countries to publish in questionable open access journals. Finally, some reflection upon the issue. The existence of the questionable OA publishing has largely posed a danger to the general OA publishing. It has led to the misunderstanding among the researchers. Nowadays, the researchers, they connect the OA publishers with pay to publish. Once the authors pay the publishers, their articles must be published. They have such kind of misconception, and also the questionable OA publishing has damaged the general landscape of science a lot by allowing the production of the low-quality research papers. Then you may have the question, what can we do? What action we can take to fight against the fast growth of questionable OA publishing markets? From my own point of view, I think it's critical to ask the every key stakeholders in the scholarly publishing to play a role, and not ask them to play a role, but also they need to take collaborative efforts to find the most efficient solutions to the questionable OA publishing problem. Academic institutions and the research funders, they need to carefully review and examine the quality of journals that researchers have published, and not to count publications in questionable journals in their evaluation of research. And publishers, together with the academic institution, they should let the researchers know the damage of questionable journals, and they need to provide guidance to researchers on how they can avoid publish in such type of journals. While for the research themselves, I think they need to be well aware of the damage of questionable OA publishing, and when they receive the spam email from the questionable OA publishers, they need to ignore them and trash spam emails, and they need to know how they can choose the right journals to publish. I'd like to share with you some useful resources to which is target to help the readers and the researchers to find to avoid publishing questionable away journals. DOAJ is a comprehensive and most authoritative wide list of quality open access journals. So researchers can, I recommend researchers to widely use DOAJ to find the good quality open access journals when they are going to publish their article in such type of journals. Also, another campaign called Think, Check, Submit. It also has been launched last year. The purpose of this campaign is to help the researchers to find the good quality outlet to publish. And the final one is BIOS list. So as I have introduced, the BIOS has maintained an online blacklist of predatory publishers and journals. Since it is the one person's list, so it's highly subjective. But I still recommend. So if the researchers are going to publish in away journals, they can consult with the BIOS list to see if the publishers has been reported in the BIOS list. That's all. Thank you very much for your listening. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Cenyu. I think your presentation it's very useful for us in Latin America to know more about this phenomenon that is, as you said, is not so common as in other regions. But it's important to know that it exists, because I know that many authors from, mainly young authors from Latin America are in these journals, are believing in these journals, and maybe it's not the best. Okay, so I have two questions for you, and the first one is, how, in terms of publishers, what do you think about the importance of taking care of every detail in the journals to have quality and to know, in order to know not being confused with these journals, or confuse the authors, and then the authors can trust in these journals? I mean, what is the importance of quality and taking care of every detail in the journal?
Yes, I think from the publisher side, they need to be aware of the damage of questionable OA publishing to the general OA market. So they need to, as you said, very carefully taking care of every details of their publishers. So I strongly recommend them to look at the criteria that has been set up by the DOAJ, because I think DOAJ is a good index, and that's have the comprehensive list of high quality OA journals. So the publishers need to consult with the DOAJ, and they need to follow how this high quality open access journal has been operated, which has been indexed in DOAJ. For instance, they need to maintain a very good website to have every information very clearly stated in the website. For instance, how much they charge an authors to publish it, and where is their office address, and what is the edictory board, and how long it takes for the authors to publish in your journals. So they need to carefully list all the information as detailed as possible. So this makes them looks like more credible, and can get and therefore gain more trust from the researchers, because researchers can go there to find all the information they need. And also they need to very well follow the good publishing practice.
Yeah, and in this aspect, I think it's very important to talk about peer review and APCs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think these are two very important aspects they need to explicitly describe in the website.
Yeah, of course. So, okay, thank you. Fernando, ¿quieres agregar o preguntar algo más? Creo que estas preguntas abarcan.
No, está perfecto. Me quedó muy bien, muy claro.
Okay, so thank you very much, Cenyu, for being here. And so if anybody wants to contact you, we can collect the questions and then you can answer it. And thank you. Y para todos la audiencia, si alguien tiene interés en contactar a Cenyu, por ahí está su correo, lo vamos a compartir también en la página de este webcast, y esperamos también recibir sus comentarios y sus preguntas al respecto de este tema tan polémico. Y bueno, también que sigan las transmisiones de los otros webcasts que vamos a tener a lo largo de estos meses hasta que se termine este 2016. Y bueno, invitarlos a estar en contacto con Aprender 3C, con DOAJ, para cualquier sugerencia, comentario, pregunta.
Bien, bueno, muchísimas gracias a todos por estar, y no se olviden de consultar la agenda en el sitio de Aprender 3C y poder ver todos los webinars y webcasts de este ciclo de transparencia y buenas prácticas para revistas digitales en acceso abierto. Muchísimas gracias a todos. Cenyu, muchísimas gracias, fue un placer el tenerte aquí y escucharte, aprendimos mucho, así que seguramente el resto de la comunidad también aprendió. Muchísimas gracias. Bye.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye, bye.
Bye. Bye, bye.
3C, que es www.aprender3c.org. Ahí van a encontrar tanto la grabación como la presentación utilizada y algunas preguntas o recursos que se mencionen durante los webinars. Recuerden compartir, está todo con licencias Creative Commons, así que digo, utilícenlo, reutilícenlo, compártanlo, como ustedes prefieran, apropiense del contenido, que esa es la intención de estas charlas, y ayudarlos a formar en competencias. No robo más tiempo, le paso la palabra a la embajadora de DOAJ para América Latina, la licenciada Ivonne Lujano. Hola Ivonne, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, Fer, bien, muchas gracias. Pues bienvenidos a todas a este tercer webcast de nuestra serie de Transparencia y Buenas Prácticas Editoriales en revistas de acceso abierto. Bueno, el día de hoy tenemos la grata presencia y compañía de Cenyu Shen, o sea, en tanto editores. Es importante conocer que existen estas revistas y que las prácticas poco éticas que ellas llevan a cabo muchas veces pueden ser, si no tenemos un cuidado editorial de la revista, hasta podrían ser confundidas con revistas que tengan una información dudosa, en nuestro caso las latinoamericanas. Entonces queremos evitar todo este tipo de errores y de malos entendidos, y este webinar tiene esa intención, como aclarar qué es esta tendencia a la publicación dudosa, por qué se da, cuándo y cómo pues evitar caer en estas revistas. Cenyu va a presentar en general una introducción al mercado de la publicación en acceso abierto de la vía dorada, o sea, una breve semblanza. También va a hablar de los antecedentes sobre la publicación dudosa o cuestionable. Va a darnos algunos de los resultados de una investigación.
Hola a todos. Muy buenos días, muy buenas tardes o muy buenas noches, depende del horario en que estén mirando esta grabación. queremos presentar, este sería el tercer webinar o webcast que organizamos el equipo de DOAJ y el equipo de APRENDER 3E. Esta serie de webinars las llamamos Transparencias y Buenas Prácticas en Revistas de Acceso Abierto, y como les mencionamos, la intención es difundir buenas prácticas para mejorar la calidad de las revistas de acceso abierto en América Latina y el Caribe, y también apoyar a los editores de la región para realizar una postulación sólida para ingresar a DOAJ, a este Directorio de Revistas Internacionales de Acceso Abierto. Todo el material de la clase, del último webinar y de este mismo webinar lo van a encontrar en el sitio de APRENDER.
Que se encuentra en Finlandia, y ella es estudiante del doctorado en la Escuela de Economía de la Universidad de Hanken, en Finlandia. Ella trabaja en el grupo de investigación de acceso abierto y se especializa en temas sobre la publicación dudosa o cuestionable, ¿no? Es decir, todas estas prácticas poco éticas que se han estado dando en los últimos meses, años, en otras regiones del mundo, aunque también algunos casos en América Latina, y que se aprovechan, digamos, del acceso abierto para realizar pues prácticas no éticas en el sentido de algunas incluso fraudulentas, y que nos interesa mucho este tema porque creemos que es muy importante conocerlo en tanto autores de artículos, que muchas veces tenemos la urgencia de publicar en revistas, y entonces nos topamos con estas revistas dudosas, y también en cuanto a la edición que ella acaba de realizar sobre estos casos, y algunos datos particulares para América Latina, y al final, bueno, algunas reflexiones que nos ayuden a pensar cómo enfrentar este tipo de problemáticas. Entonces, bueno, voy a compartir la presentación de Cenyu, y ella estará empezando a hablar con ustedes. Les recordamos que este webcast tiene un subtitulaje, y cualquier pregunta que ustedes quieran hacer en inglés, en español, en el idioma que ustedes deseen, pueden hacérnoslas llegar tanto a Fernando o a mí, y nosotros haremos lo posible por contestar todas sus preguntas. So, Cenyu, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, you can start. Go ahead.
Yes. Yes, hello everyone. I'm very happy to have this opportunity to share with you all my experience in studying questionable open access